What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for our AEW Rampage and SmackDown review for December the 17th, 2021. Now, before we get into anything, I do want to give a little note. There will not be a SmackDown review next week. Rampage is on Saturday, so I don't think I'm even going to do a Rampage review unless something really major happens, like a TNT Championship change or something else. I think I will be back the week after, which is the go-home show to day one and all that. But I think I'm just gonna take there will be a review on Monday, review on Wednesday, but there will not be anything on Friday because honestly, it's Christmas Eve, and in my family we usually do our stuff on Christmas Eve, so there's no reason for me to be here. It's pre-taped, it's taping, it is 11:15 as I do this, they're probably taping everything right now as we speak. So why should I even care to watch SmackDown? Which, yes, Rampage is taped 95% of the time. But WWE, when they do their tape shows, they do an awful job. It just feels horrendous from start to finish to sit there and watch a show for WWE that is taped. NXT was fine because NXT, they knew what the fuck they were doing. They didn't do stupid shit. It was fine just as it was for them. Now I just don't want to watch what's going on SmackDown. I'll find out the spoilers, and if I want to see, unless Toni Storm wins the SmackDown Women's Championship next week, which we'll talk about that here in a bit, I don't care about SmackDown next week. So, tonight we had Rampage also happening in SmackDown. WWE decided to blow their load on the most interesting part of the match going on this day one between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And the only thing that was going to be interesting about that match has now been thrown to the side. And now nobody, and I mean nobody, should really give a shit about what happens at day one between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Roman should not be losing. But we'll get to that. But before that, we're going to go to, as we do every time, we're going to Rampage, as we had two tag team matches and a submission match between the women of Penelope Ford and Tay Conti. The Young Bucks, Adam Cole and Bobby Fish, took on the Best Friends, AEW's portion of Chaos, as it was Trent, Chuck, Orange Cassidy, and Rocky Romero with Wheeler Yuta. So this match is coming together. Is happening because Adam Cole and Adam Cole has just been fucking tired of seeing Orange Cassidy's face. He does not want to see him in AEW. He hates him and yada yada yada. And it's more the same. And this is, of course, going to lead to a match between these guys. Actually, on Wednesday on the Holiday Bash, we are going to get Orange Cassidy versus Adam Cole, which is fine by me. I can't wait to see that match. It should be absolutely fine. But here we are with these guys. Trent having his first match, which he's not just Trent anymore, he's Trent Beretta. They gave him his name back, which I don't know why the last 2 years it's been Trent ? But he's Trent Beretta again, and Justin Roberts even played it off as Trent Beretta, and they had that space, but whatever. It was a good match. All 8 guys in this match were great. I'm glad to see Rocky Romero working in AEW and having this partnership. He is the biggest reason we're seeing Rocky Romero a lot more in AEW is because he is the liaison between New Japan and in AEW. When Tony Khan and Gato have their conversations of what they're going to do with AEW talent, or which, if everything ever gets fixed in Japan and we can have AEW talent go back over there, you're going to see talent go over there. Maybe the Best Friends, Jon Moxley, when he gets back and better, he'll go over there as well. But that is the biggest reason why Rocky Romero is around. He also, and this is news, is that Rocky Romero, because of the affiliation between AEW and New Japan, Rocky Romero is able to get footage from when Owen Hart was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or in wrestling in Japan, for a video package they will be playing for the Owen Hart Cup, which we did find out a little bit tonight. We were supposed to find out everything, I guess, last Wednesday, and this past Wednesday. I don't know what happened. But we didn't, but we do know that after tonight, it's going to happen in May, men and women, and it's going to be And it's going to end, both of them are going to end at Double or Nothing, which is fine. Honestly, I think, but I do think it is a little weird to have both the men and the women going on at the same time, which we have this TBS women's tournament going on right now, and it's not doing, like, they don't seem to find enough time to be able to do it in a good space. The TBS women's tournament, when we look back on it, it's going to be looked at as like, they could have did better. But I can't wait to see what's going on, who's going to be in it, how they're going to do it. Honestly, I think there better be qualifying matches. Don't just throw people in it, men or women, into it for the hell of it. But we will apparently this time find out everything on Friday, on Wednesday, which is the Holiday Bash. So again, we had this match here. Of course, Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy. Adam Cole just cannot stand Orange Cassidy. Every time he just looks at him, like Adam Cole has this look of, I hate your guts. And again, Trent's first time back, he looked like he did stay out of the match for the majority of it. Of course, he is just coming back from spinal stenosis surgery to try and get his neck to be as well as it could. Now, there was an early part of this match where the Young Bucks and them were able to attack his neck while he was on the outside. But he was saved for the bit. You always have that big thing with the baby faces where they get the hot tag. Trent Beretta was the hot tag in this match. And he just went completely bananas on these guys, beating these guys left and right, doing everything he could. Matt eats an orange punch from Cassidy. Trent sends Fish down and hits the strong zero for the 1, 2, 3. The best friends, Orange Cassidy and Rock Romero, win the match. And of course, if the Adam Cole, Young Bucks, if they're going to lose a match like this with Bobby Fish is taking the pinfall. Now, we do know that on Wednesday, that Adam Cole was promising a big surprise for the Young Bucks, and of course Bobby Fish too, that is going to be the best thing they've ever seen. Obviously, that is probably going to be Kyle O'Reilly. Now, the question I have about this, and it's going to be very interesting, is it Kyle O'Reilly joining up with Adam Cole, Bobby Fish to be with the Young Bucks, or is the surprise going to be Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish attacking and beating down the Young Bucks? That is something I don't think anyone's even really thought about. I could be totally wrong, but that just seems like something I could see them doing, is that Kyle O'Reilly makes his debut, but Adam Cole's like, that's not even the surprise, and the Young Bucks get hit with a high, one of the Young Bucks get hit with a high-low by them, and the other one gets hit with a super kick by Adam Cole, because, as we all know, who kicked Adam Cole out of the Bullet Club? It was the Young Bucks in Ring of Honor, and of course he got fired from Kenny Omega on the Titantron, but the Young Bucks beat him down, multiple super kicks to him, and killed him in the middle of the ring with Muddy Skull. So maybe, just maybe, because we have the 3/4 of the Undisputed Era, the OG, the full-on thing of the Undisputed Era with the original 3 members, I should say, with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, maybe they turn on the Young Bucks and their heels turn in the Young Bucks babyface. I don't know. All I know is it could just be Kyle O'Reilly joining up, or it could be that the Young Bucks get absolutely just obliterated. Of course, this is all going to probably happen after Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole's match. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with them on Wednesday. Wednesday will be a very interesting show. It is the Holiday Bash, and it should be interesting for sure. I wonder, because I know AEW and WWE did pay tribute to Brody Lee on his birthday this past week. I wonder if on the final episode on TNT, will they do something to commemorate Brody Lee? I don't know. We'll see. But this was a good match overall. Best friends Rock Romero, Trent looking good. It's like he gets in. One of the first things they do is they drop him on his neck, which honestly, and it wasn't just anything. It was an avalanche Falcon Arrow. Like, Trent Beretta's neck is fine and is good. If one of the very first big moves he takes is an avalanche Falcon Arrow from Bobby Fish. If he wasn't fully ready to come back and have a full-blown type of match or anything, that spot does not happen. So good on him. Great to see these guys back. Great for Trent to be coming back and having some matches. It's the first match he has back. Good. It's awesome to see, and I can't wait to see what happens. Not Bobby Fish. Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy on Wednesday should be it should be interesting and be very, very newsworthy. Dan Lambert segment. Now, Dan Lambert, I don't give a shit about whatever he says. He comes out, they talk their shit. I had it on mute, didn't care. Who would be it wasn't what's going to happen with Dan Lambert, because you know he's going to come out here, talk shit on everything, but talk up the men of the year. Now, if you would think that Dan Lambert has go away heat, nobody wants to see him. The men of the year have super heat because they're associated with Dan Lambert. Who would be the person to come out to interrupt them? You figured the person who would come out, or people would come out, they would get a huge babyface pop. That would be it if it wasn't Cody fucking Rhodes. Cody comes out, booed beyond belief. This guy comes out here, should be getting this was AEW and Cody's attempt to get this guy a pop. That's exactly what this was. This guy's getting booed everywhere. He got booed. He got a bigger mixed reaction in Atlanta than anywhere else. He's been booed. Comes out here, he gets fucking booed so loud that it's like not even Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Dan Lambert, who everybody in the crowd hates, to get this guy cheered. They could not get this guy cheered for nothing. Now, then we get dick measuring contest. As Cody walks over to Dan Lambert, pulls the mic out of his hand. Goes to say something, Dan Lambert pulls it back. And they just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Until Cody finally gets it, and instead of saying something, just drops it and starts fighting Scorpio Sky. Ethan Page, of course, comes over and starts beating on him, so it's a 2-1 beatdown. Dustin comes out, his brother, of course, gotta protect his bro. He comes out to cheers. And when he gets beat down, the fans boo the man of the year because people still like Dustin. People know that Dustin is not going to go and just be in it for himself. He's out here trying to help the young guys. So people still love Dustin, so when he gets beat down, people actually care. But before he came out there, Cody's getting beat down, and nobody's booing the men of the year. It's like an indifferent reaction. Like, they didn't want to cheer. They don't want to cheer the men of the year, but they don't want to boo him either because they're beating down a hated person in Cody. All they did for this was try to get Cody cheered, and it did not work. Of course, the men of the year get the upper hand because Cody was beat down so much he couldn't help his brother to make it a 2-on-2 affair. So they sent out Sammy Guevara, who of course is a big time babyface right now. So he's going to get cheered as well. But they did all of this to try and get Cody Rhodes cheered, and it didn't work. You didn't need to have Sammy save Cody and Dustin. That wasn't necessary. We all know that the match is going to be next week. You don't really have to do anything. It's Cody versus Sammy. All you had to do was just have the match next week. Have a video package if you had to. You didn't have to have him come down and try and make the save when you knew that Cody was going to get the hell booed out of him. So that's exactly what they tried to do. It was a massive fail, as you knew it was going to be. And so we got Cody versus them next week on Saturday. So yeah, next week, Friday, there is no Rampage. It's going to be on Saturday because it's a Christmas special. And the biggest reason why it's going to be on Christmas night instead of on Saturday, on Christmas Eve, is because and this will happen as well if they have a wrestling show on TBS, because Warner Media has this whole thing when it comes to A Christmas Story. They do a 24/7 marathon of A Christmas Story, starting sometime in sometime during the day. And it's a little over 24 hours, so hopefully Rampage will be on Saturday at 8 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock, so we can actually watch it, be done with it, and move on. And it would be also be a great way for them to, if they wanted to do a 2-hour episode, to just have a Holiday Bash 2-hour episode, you have it from 8 to 10 instead of from 10 to midnight, which was, that's one of the biggest things that fucking sucked about Stadium Stampede, or Stadium Grand Slam Rampage edition, because it was from 10 to 12. That shit fucking sucked. Anyway, we get a video package we hear from the 4 finalists: Ruby Soho, Nyla Rose, Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, before they battle for the shot to become the TBS champion for the first time. We will have Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho on Wednesday night, leaving Jade Cargill and Thunder Rosa for either Rampage, which I doubt because they did announce what happens next week. I think at least one match. So I'm saying that probably the final episode of the year, the final episode of TBS on the 29th will be Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa, and then the winner will be crowned at either the 5th or Battle of the Belts. We also did get the first match announced for Battle of the Belts. It will be the Women's Championship, as Riho will try to become a 2-time Women's Champion, which of course will not happen. We all know this. We all know Tony Khan is looking to go for Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, the winner, to give Thunder Rosa the championship, and that the nightmare that's championship reign has been. Tay Conti versus Penelope Ford, a submission match. I really didn't care. I love me Tay Conti, but they really hurt Tay Conti in coming out of that women's championship match. They had the women's champion bury every single thing that Tay Conti does to keep her championship and win with a fucking shitty ass roll up. Tay Conti hits her with everything, and she kicked out of everything. Kicked her in the face multiple times, and then hit her with all her finishers, and she still kicked out. So Tay Conti has to win matches and get herself build up her momentum again, because they stopped her dead cold. She wins in a match that, and this thing about Penelope Ford, I don't know what it is, but every time I see Penelope Ford wrestle a match, I don't know what it is. Like, it's the first few minutes she seems fine, but then it's like she gets nervous, it looks like, or she's hesitant that she doesn't want to fuck up. She doesn't want to screw up a move, or like, it's just like she just hesitates and it doesn't work. I don't know what it is, but it's just like I don't know. It's just like not Tay, but Penelope just, there's something off with her when she wrestles on TV. It's just, I don't know. After the match, the bunny comes in, hits her with the hits Tay with the brass knucks, gets her friend down to there, and they run away. So yeah. So the Owen Cup tournament will be in May. The men's and women's tournaments will conclude at Double or Nothing. Honestly, now this is the thing. If AEW had more pay-per-views than they do, this would be like, I would have the men's in May and the women's in June, so they're not happening at the same time. But that's what we're going to have. We're going to have both of them at the same time, and they're both going to happen in May and end at Double or Nothing. Martha will be there at Double or Nothing to give the trophies to the men and women winners. Now, I'm looking forward to the men's. Can't wait to see what they do. But the women's, I'm a little bit more like hesitant on, because we have this TBS women's tournament going on. It's really not. It could have been a lot better. This is the second women's tournament they have done. The first one was that women's tag tournament, which I don't even have a clue. Oh wait, this is the third. That's right. They had the eliminator tournament too. This is the third. The tag tournament that made no sense last year, which it was supposed to, honestly, I thought was going to lead to Brandy and Allie winning, because that's why they put that team together. That failed, and they ended up having Diamante and Ivelisse win, which that went nowhere. Then they had the eliminator tournament, which the Japanese side was fine, and the US side just was, it was okay. And then you have this one that's going on right now, and it's fine. It's an okay tournament. I'm not real thrilled with the whole 12 woman tournament with the top 4 getting a bye. I think that's kind of stupid. You could have had Riho, you could have had Layla Hirsch and 2 others added in to make it a full 16-person tournament, but no, we went with 12. Anyway, like I said, Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy has been made for Wednesday, as well as Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose. Winner will go to the finals. And on Saturday, we get Hook for they're sending Hook Part 2, as Hook will take on Bear Bronson. I think Boulder's hurt again, I'm not sure. But Bear Bronson takes on Hook, and Sammy Guevara takes on Cody Rhodes. Sammy better win or we riot. Then we had this 10-man tag team match. The Lucha Bros, Pride and Powerful, and Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia 2.0 and The Acclaimed. Why did we do a 10-man tag match instead of just a trios match with Pride and Powerful and Eddie Kingston? Basically, the only thing I can say is that they... got something in my mouth. They want to give you another tease, eventually, to Pride and Powerful versus the Lucha Bros, which is probably going to happen at Revolution. Not at Battle of the Belts, because the Pride and Powerful still need to get up higher in the rankings. Of course, the ones at Battle of the Belts is going to absolutely be the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, because they are the number 1 contenders, and they haven't lost, really. And we'll get more into that in a second. Now, this match, before it even got started, Max Caster really weird started his his rap with something about the CIA and taking JFK away. I don't even want to get into the conspiracy theory right there. I'm not even going to get into that. But that's like the only line he got to say, because all you hear is, oh geez, and like the tag champs, Proud and Powerful, and Eddie Kingston rush to the ramp and start fighting. We get an all-out Pier 6 brawl between these 10 guys. So they eventually finally get back in the ring. Penta and Max eventually establish order. They get to the ring as a legal man. Caster fires a right slugger, to which Penta answers back with a nasty chop. Picture in picture, Eddie Kingston lights up Bones' chest to Satoshi. I can't even say it. Satoshi Kojima inspired machine gun chops. I am sorry I butchered that the first few times. 10-man brawl back to the outside, returning from full screen. Santana lands a double springboard moonsault on 2.0, just in time to make the tag to Penta. Penta carries on over a sling blade and lets Phoenix go to work with a torpedo. Kingston takes care of the caster and Sayuda suplex. Garcia sneaks in, Eddie Kingston goes for the back fist after he gets a couple shots, and he goes for the back fist. Garcia ducks. Kingston gets rolled up. Garcia pulls the trunks, the pants, as tight as possible. 1, 2, 3. Garcia picks up the win in a major upset, they said on commentary, and of course that cheated. After the match, everybody on the heel team comes in and starts beating up Eddie Kingston. Now they got the boombox. They got a chain wrapped around it. And he's gonna hit him. He's gonna hit him with the boombox. The music plays for the Jurassic Express, but Eddie Kingston gets waffled in the face anyway. They all look at the ramp thinking, oh, they're gonna come out that way. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Christian Cage all come in from behind. They fight them off, saving everybody. And we get a tease as Alex Amberhantes had the belts. Jungle Boy grabs the belts, holds them up, looks at the Lucha Bros, hands them back. He shakes Phoenix's hand. Penta and Luchasaurus fist bump, and Christian Cage has his hands on both guys' shoulders, like, yeah, we gotta have this match. So the Battle of the Belts is probably going to be the Lucha Bros versus the Jurassic Express, which should be a damn good match. This is also the night that I feel that Christian Cage will turn on the Jurassic Express. Now, it's like the other option would be that they turn heel, but I doubt that's gonna freaking happen. I mean, come on, you're not gonna turn another team heel, another group of people heel no. So honestly, I think we're gonna get Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy at Revolution, and Christian Cage is going, because he's been for weeks in promos being like, my mission here is to make sure Jurassic Express are the next AEW World Tag Team Champions. He keeps saying it over and over with conviction. And it just tells me that I'm going to screw these guys out of the titles at Battle of the Belts. Somehow, some way, which the Lucha Bros probably won't be happy about. That's how they win. But that's going to eventually lead to Christian Cage and Jungle Boy at Revolution. Now, if it wasn't for Hangman Adam Page going off on hiatus to have a baby, which that's him, go you do you. And if it wasn't for that, and then we would have got the end of Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega at All Out, which was the original plan, obviously, then it probably would have been Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage at All Out. That's where it felt like they were going. And then it just like, poof, it stopped out of nowhere because it felt like they would just push. It was like little hints and things like, and teases. Felt like, yeah, he's going to turn on him very, very soon. And that's going to lead to a match at All Out. Of course, that didn't happen. And you had Christian Cage challenge Kenny Omega for the world title unsuccessfully after, of course, winning the Impact Wrestling World title 2 weeks prior. So now it's time for them to start building towards that next match. And that next match is going to be, that next pay-per-view is going to be Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. So they're going to come back around. Christian is going to screw them. He's going to turn heel, which it honestly feels like this has been well overdue. Christian Cage, in my opinion, he's an okay babyface. He's fine as a babyface. He's much better as a whiny, bitchy heel. The one more match, like that Christian Cage, that was the best Christian Cage we've seen ever. So Christian Cage will screw the Jurassic Express out of the championships. Plain and simple. Maybe it'll be one of those things where he gets, he does something while the referee is either down, distracted, or something. He's going to hit Jungle Boy, not Luchasaurus. He's going to hit Jungle Boy because anything he does should not knock out Luchasaurus. He's going to hit Jungle Boy with a chair, with a title, with something, maybe a kendo stick, whatever it is, hitting him, knocking him out, and costing them the tag team titles. The only problem is, of course, yes, the Lucha Bros are right now the baby faces, so I guess you can, well, honestly, I think the Lucha Bros need to turn heel anyway, because when you go to Pride and Powerful are in the Inner Circle, and they're baby faces. So, honestly, I think the Lucha Bros also turn heel at this time, and they will happily take that. Like, Christian will hit Jungle Boy, costing them the match. The Lucha Bros take the title, take the win, or he hits Jungle Boy with whatever he does, chair, belt, kendo stick, whatever. The Lucha Bros see this and go, "What the fuck?" And they play it off for a minute, like, "What the fuck, man?" Shake their help, like whoever's the legal man shakes his shoulders, goes over there, pins Jungle Boy, or they hit their finisher, hit the combo finisher 1, 2, 3. They keep the titles. They turn heel, so we can get to Pride and Powerful versus the Lucha Bros with them being the heels, because you don't need babyface versus babyface is fine, but if you really, really, really want the Lucha Bros and the Pride and Powerful to be a blow-away match, one of them needs to be a fucking heel going in, and it's not going to be Pride and Powerful anytime soon. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's move on to SmackDown, because, oh boy, this show. Well, I wish I'm not a drinker of alcohol, but yeah. If you want to drink something stiff before you go over SmackDown, that'd be something smart. They were in the Rosemont, the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois, aka Chicago. Now, we see what happened last week with Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, and all that shit. Now we see Paul Heyman standing outside the Allstate Arena, holding that championship the Universal title, waiting for Roman Reigns. And then we go to the ring for Sasha Banks and Toni Storm versus Shotzi Blackheart and Charbot 9000 in tag team action. Wow, what? We're having a match to start off Monday night on SmackDown? What? This is a positive for me. I am so sick of seeing, I like Roman when he does his promos every so often, but to do it every single week to open the show, no. Give me wrestling to start the show. Give me something like this. Was it a great match? No. Shotzi. Shotzi. I'm going to admit I didn't see much of Shotzi Blackheart in NXT because she started doing stuff on there when Vince McMahon took over, and I kind of just said, fuck NXT, it's dead. It's slowly dying to a point where they eventually made it 2.0, and it sucks now. But what is up with her? Like, I don't know. Like, it just feels like, of course, Triple H booked everyone better in NXT. Even all four of these women were booked better in NXT. We can all agree on that. But, like, she's turned heel. The Tank's gone, which the Tank, of course, Vince McMahon didn't get. Why is this grown woman riding out in a toy tank and all this? And now she's a heel. And I want to believe her as a heel, but just, she's a punk rock goth. Why would you want to boo that? Punk rock and the wrestling go hand in hand. Why would anybody want to boo this woman? All because Sasha Banks got up on the ring apron in her match against the Charbot and cost her the match? I'm on Shotzi's side on that. That's another thing. She beat down Sasha after Sasha cost her a match. If I was in her shoes, I would have did the same exact thing. Sasha was the heel in that spot. Shotzi was in the right to beat her down, so yet she's the heel. I don't know. This just... By the way, Sasha Banks, inspired attire, awesome. Just want to put that out there. She was on the red carpet for Spider-Man No Way Home, in the invite-only world premiere, whatever they do there. But, yeah. The match was fine. But can we stop? Okay. Andrade does a double moonsault where he moonsaults, lands on his feet, and then does a moonsault immediately, landing it beautifully. Charbot tries to do the same thing, unoriginal by the way, and does a piss poor job at it. Now, her first moonsault lands fine, but that second one, every single time, especially recently, she misses. Like, when Andrade does it, he goes, lands, and does it immediately. She does it, lands, has to reposition herself, then goes again, and overshoots every single fucking time, or the woman underneath is out of position, and it looks fucking bad. Every single fucking time. Stop. Gee, I remember when she first started doing the moonsault, and they did, I don't remember what it was. But she was doing some kind of interview. It was like one of those talking spots. And she mentioned how she wanted to do the moonsault in NXT and they wouldn't let her. I wonder why. I wonder why NXT, Triple H, and his team wouldn't let you do the moonsault. Because they probably saw you do it in the Performance Center and went like, no, that is not a good thing. It looks like shit. Without telling you, it looks like shit. You should sit back and wonder, gee, why wouldn't they let me do the moonsault in NXT? There had to be a good fucking reason behind it because you can't do a good fucking moonsault. It always looks like shit. Stop doing the fucking moonsault, you Charbot. You can't fucking do it. And by the way, come up with something else other than stealing your fiance's fucking moves. This shit annoys the shit out of me. Adam Cole doing the fucking lockjaw in his match against fucking Kyle O'Reilly. Stop stealing or stop borrowing your significant other's moves. It's unoriginal and it just makes you look stupid. The two things that she does that are Andrade's is the misboot back elbow combo, which looks like shit as well, and the double moonsault, which does look like the first one, like I said, looks fine. Because she lands and it's fine. But when you go to reposition yourself and then do it again and you over-rotate or you overshoot it, it looks fucking bad. Storm gets the knees up on the follow-up moonsault, bridges over Charbot, 1, 2, 3, and Toni Storm beats the champion. Now, Toni Storm's getting the title match on next Friday, which is being taped as of right now. So if she wins the championship, she wins the championship. If she doesn't, which I doubt she will, they'll probably have some kind of fuckery so we can go into day one with a SmackDown Women's title match and have Toni Storm versus Charbot and Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. That sounds like something they would do. But I don't like Charbot as champion, but I'm also tired of champions losing. That's all champions do in WWE outside of Roman Reigns. They lose. The tag champs lose. The women's champion lose. The IC champion will lose. The US champion will lose. Even Big E, as world champion, has lost. Outside of a stupid DQ finish, which Roman Reigns shouldn't have lost that way, Roman Reigns hasn't been pinned or submitted since he's made his fucking return. Why is he getting? Why is his championship the only one that seems to have any fucking meaning in this company? Every other title in this company is fucking irrelevant. How to make titles actually fucking matter? Don't have the champions get beat. How hard is that? I don't know. It just boggles my mind how bad WWE is at this. And then we get to the back after the match and we see Mansoor, Ricochet, Drew Gulak, Rick Boogs, and Shinsuke Nakamura all chanting "Hail King Woods" as Xavier Woods sits on this ridiculous throne with his ridiculous looking crown. So, as we know, on Monday, or was it Monday? Or Tuesday? Whenever it was. I think it was Wednesday, actually. It was reported that Kevin Owens re-signed with WWE. He is re-signed. He is going to he is staying in WWE, and that's all there is to it. Now, there's also talk that Sami Zayn has also re-signed, which, honestly, with the fact that they are pretty much sewn to the hip, when it was told that Kevin Owens re-signed, him re-signing was obviously going to happen. Now, Ricochet, I can see leaving. Ricochet, the only thing Ricochet has done in the last year that is worth a damn is, I don't know, face Roman Reigns. I think he faced Roman Reigns sometime. But the biggest thing that Ricochet has done since, oh no, he hasn't. But since he's been drafted to SmackDown, was he came out for Drew McIntyre's open challenge, slapped Drew McIntyre in the face, and then got beat. Other than that, he's been a background player in these stupid segments in the back. Ricochet should be somebody, I think he was actually on Survivor Series too, but didn't last very long as it is. But Ricochet is worth more than this. Ricochet is one of those guys that when his contract comes up, I'm not saying go to All Elite Wrestling. Go to New Japan again. Go to Impact. Go to MLW. Go somewhere else where you can do something. You can be able to reach your full potential as a wrestler. Staying in WWE, all you're going to be doing is sitting back here doing these segments like this and being like, "Hail King Woods, Hail King Woods, Hail King Woods," and stupid shit like this. Drew Gulak, same thing. Even though I know he re-signed last year after his contract came up, he re-signed a week later or so. So Drew Gulak's going absolutely nowhere unless he gets cut. Honestly, it would not surprise me with the next time they make cuts, but you know they're going to happen. Ricochet and Drew Gulak will probably be fired and be a part of that. Mansoor is going absolutely nowhere until the 10-year contract with Saudi Arabia is up. I think Mansoor is actually written in the contract that he must be used on television, and when he comes over to Saudi Arabia, he has to win all his matches because he's won a Battle Royal. He beat Ali last time around. He's won other matches, and all the matches he could ever have, and the big matches he's won have all been in Saudi Arabia. So Mansoor is going nowhere. And on top of this, during this whole thing, King Woods puts his hand out for them to kiss the ring or his fingers, his hand, and Boogs takes his hand and actually kisses it. Why? So the New Day, the Usos come up, they laugh, they talk some trash, they mock the New Day and Woods' new crown, which does look fucking ridiculous. I mean, can we get a real crown and not this goofy looking shit that you got on? And the main event tonight's show is the Usos versus the New Day, and the New Day say, we're going to beat you tonight, and then we're going to beat you. We're going to beat you tonight again, and then we're going to beat you at day one. So that match is your main event. The Viking Raiders versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. I will be honest, I didn't see this match because, you know, nature calls, you got to use the bathroom, all that good stuff. Shanky gets pinned from a splash, that's all I can say. We see how Drew McIntyre put his sword deep into Adam Pearce's desk last week, and how Corbin and Madcap Moss went and stole the desk. So we come back to SmackDown this week, and they got the desk again. They bring it out for Happy Talk. I really wanted to gag. I wanted to, like, take some, like, I don't have any, but I wanted to take some, like, a sharp tool, like maybe a chopstick or something, and just stir my eardrums when it comes to this shit. Madcap Moss's jokes are not funny. Not even close. The fact that Vince McMahon thinks that these jokes are funny is just, I wish I could say laughable, but Vince McMahon thought he thinks it's funny. The only people who think these are funny are Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and Bruce Pritchard. I love you, Vince. I don't care. I cannot stand this shit. I'm over the whole Madcap Moss and these shitty ass jokes. Michael Cole's not even laughing at him anymore, which he was in the beginning, and I'm like, of course Michael Cole would think think they were funny because he's told to laugh at him. So they make their jokes. Corbin's like, dude, because of your wit, I want you to have the sword. So Moss goes to get the sword out, and with the way he's struggling, you can definitely see he's not actually trying to get the sword out. And Corbin goes over, tries to do the same thing. It doesn't happen. And then eventually Drew McIntyre comes out, beats them both up, takes the sword out as if it was nothing. And that is that. Backstage, Paul Heyman is still waiting. We see a SUV pull up. He pulls the door open and he's like, my tribal chief. Out comes Brock Lesnar. Heyman says he was expecting someone else, and Lesnar says, that's quite alright. Maybe Roman? Just taps on my chest and says, good luck with that. And leaves. And walks away. And we get the let's see here. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are backstage. Sami Zayn walks in and says he just wanted to wish them happy holidays. He says he's about the spirit of giving. And we asked about how Brock Lesnar ruined his Universal title shot, wondering how long it will be before he gets another shot. And he goes on and Pearce says maybe they can give him something else. How about a gauntlet match next week on SmackDown with the winner receiving a Intercontinental title shot, probably at day one? Sami says Sami will be in the match. Deville and Pearce are all smiles as they wish Sami the best. And it's called the 12 Days of Christmas 12-Man Battle Royal. With the likes of the Viking Raiders, Shanky, and Jinder Mahal. Why are those four guys in it? I don't know. Cesaro versus Ridge Holland. You know that when Griff Garrison first came to NXT, to AEW, there was this thing going online where Brody Lee would do it every time. It was funny. Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? That was the thing, because who the fuck was Griff Garrison? Well, who the fuck is Ridge Holland? He has zero identity. This man comes out to Sheamus's theme. Sheamus comes out and I'm like, oh, I'm sitting here typing. I'm like, Sheamus versus, and it's like, oh no, he's in his casual clothes or his fighting clothes, his bar fight clothes, and he brings out Ridge Holland to his music. Why is Ridge Holland coming out to Sheamus's music? On top of that, it's Ridge Holland versus Cesaro again. You know, Cesaro who beat Ridge Holland in an embarrassing fashion last time they were in a match. So, Sheamus distracts Cesaro before the match begins, allowing Ridge Holland to take his billy club and jab it into Cesaro's side, into his ribs. So, Cesaro rolls out of the ring, and we go to commercial break, we come back, and his ribs are taped. So, we have the match. Of course, Ridge dominates the match from the beginning. Cesaro gets a comeback, and then they're on the outside. They fight for a bit. He throws him back in the ring. Cesaro says, "This is your fault." This is all saying. He said something to Sheamus. I really can't understand what he said. He throws him back in the ring. He goes to get back in. Sheamus distracts him, allowing Ridge Holland to hit him with a side set out power slam for the win. And I'm thinking, one, why is Ridge Holland needing Sheamus' help again? You used Sheamus' distraction to injure your opponents. And here you are, not able to get the job done until Sheamus was able to go out of his way to distract Cesaro again. They are not making Ridge Holland look good at all. I mean, if you would have just had the first injury, the injury, be enough to take out his ribs, and then Ridge Holland just works on that, weakening Cesaro and eventually beating Cesaro with the side sit-out power slam, I would have been like, okay, good stuff. He won the match. Good on him. But the fact that you had to have Sheamus not help you once but twice kind of makes him look bad. And the fact that Ridge Holland still does not have his own theme, which, of course he doesn't, because Sheamus is basically the only thing that's like, who the fuck is Ridge Holland? Well, from everything we've seen so far, Ridge Holland to me is just a Sheamus fanboy who's living out his dream, wrestling, fighting with his hero, Sheamus. That's his identity, and that's not a good identity. I mean, yes, Michael Cole keeps trying to reiterate that he's so dangerous that he got kicked out of rugby. He was too crazy for rugby, which I don't fucking buy. Have you seen what those motherfuckers do to each other? Yeah. Drew McIntyre backstage looking for Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Naomi comes out to the ring. Cole says Naomi is demanding her match against Sonya Deville once again. She gets in the ring. Her Christmas list, and this was so stupid. Why would you do this? Why would you have Naomi do this? She's out here holding a green piece of construction paper, obviously, and says, just like most years, I have a Christmas list, and my Christmas list is usually not that big, and it's not either this year. And she knows Deville is backstage listening. He says she wants one thing this year for Christmas, and that is a one-on-one match with Sonya Deville. And she calls Sonya out. Sonya Deville comes out in her suit and says, "You know what? You do know, as I told you before, if I'm in the suit, you can't touch me." So she says, "I have someone else who wants to face you, Shayna Baszler." So Sonya gets in the ring, pretends like she's going to take her jacket off, giving Shayna Baszler enough time to clip Naomi's knee out, allowing her to get the advantage. Ref rings the bell under Sonya's orders, and Naomi wins because, of course she does. Shayna puts on the leg submission. Naomi crawls to the rope, but Baszler pulls her back. Naomi counters and rolls her up quick for the 1, 2, 3. The match didn't even last 2 minutes. Naomi, I still don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get the vendetta Sonya Deville has against Naomi. It makes no fucking sense. Why does she have a vendetta against Naomi? I want to know. I want to know the reasoning why, out of everybody on SmackDown, or on both brands, because she's on both brands as an authority figure, why Sonya Deville can't stand being around Naomi. Why she continues to put the screws to Naomi. And why hasn't Naomi gone to Roman and her husband, Jimmy? Why hasn't she gone to have the bloodline help her in this problem? Is she not good enough to get the bloodline's help? Why are we sitting here watching Naomi struggle to do anything against Sonya Deville? Why is she getting put down by the authority figure? I really don't understand this. It makes no sense. Mega Morant finds Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss conveniently hiding in a dark room, turns on the lights, asks them what's going on and what they think about Drew getting his sword back, and Happy Corbin throws Madcap Moss under the bus and makes a match and says Then at day 1, Drew McIntyre will take on Madcap Moss, which Madcap isn't happy about. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus the New Days. This match lasted about 5 minutes, and do you really think the New Day were going to lose going into this match? No. They won a match that we've seen over and over and over again. I just am so tired of seeing the Usos versus the New Day. Whenever we're on the same brand, the Usos and the New Day are destined to fight, and I'm sick of it. Because, you know, we can't give other teams, other people who misuse a chance to, you know, show what they can do. But this, of course, was leading to what happened after. New Day win. They celebrate. Match. If you've seen one New Day versus the Usos match, you've seen them all. We see Paul Heyman. He's happy. He's and everything. He's happy that the van, like his tribal chief, is here. He opens the door, and Roman comes out to the other side. He's and Heyman's like, "Oh, my tribal chief." Roman's like, "Let's go to my ring." They go to the ring. They come back, and Roman. He says, "You know what? I can't. You know what, Chicago? I say the same thing every time. I hate when my cousins lose, but we are family, so we can get through this." Goes over to Heyman and is like, "But you ain't my family." Well, you're not his blood. Reigns says Heyman should be no better than anyone, that he can't have anyone disrespecting him because that means they're disrespecting his entire family. Reigns asks Weinberg if he can trust him. Reigns says he took a week off and he didn't see anything, but he knows everything that happened around here. And last week, Heyman seemed to be a bit shady. Reigns asked him if he knew, and he asked us again, "Did you know Lesnar was returning at SummerSlam? Did you know he was going to be at Madison Square Garden? Did you know that Lesnar's suspension was going to be lifted?" Heyman shakes his head, "No." Fans chant, "You fucked up," and Reigns says, "You're damn right he fucked up." Which, you know, Vince McMahon, the minute fans came back, Vince McMahon wanted to turn Roman babyface immediately. He wanted him to be babyface immediately. We ain't there yet. Reigns says this is an important question. Is Heyman a special counsel, or is he an advocate? Heyman turns and gets a mic. He seems stressed and bothered. He goes to speak, but Heyman first wants Heyman to acknowledge him with the truth. Why are you protecting Brock Lesnar from me? He asks. Heyman says he's like, "Oh, my tribal chief, I'm not protecting Brock Lesnar from you. I'm protecting you from Brock Lesnar." Usos are like, "Dude, you can't be disrespecting him." They tell Roman to get him. Usos are just hyping him up. Reigns hugs Heyman but has a mic. He says he loves him. Heyman loves Reigns. Reigns thanks Heyman for his honesty and his 40-plus years of service to his family. Heyman thanks him as well. He says that Heyman is fired. Reigns backs up, then flattens him with a Superman punch, and the fans pop. Then he wants 2 chairs because he's gonna give this man a concerto and kill Paul Heyman dead. He goes to do it, but music hits. Lesnar comes out, destroys the tag team champions, gets in the ring, and eventually hits 2 F5s on Roman Reigns. And then Fox goes off the air with a pissed off Brock Lesnar looking dead into the camera. And I'm thinking to myself, why did we do this tonight? Why are we going to take away any intrigue we had for this match? The biggest thing going in since Brock Lesnar has been back is Paul Heyman going to turn on Roman Reigns? Is Roman Reigns going to turn on Paul Heyman? And we just threw it away right then and there. I don't know. Why do I want to see this match at day 1? Oh, is Brock Lesnar going to beat Roman Reigns? Brock Lesnar should not be Roman Reigns. Why would Roman Reigns lose his championship? If he's going to lose the title, it's not going to be at a day one pay-per-view. It's going to be at a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. One of those two pay-per-views. Roman's not losing it any other way. Most likely WrestleMania in 2024. 2023 with Braun Breaker. That's when I think WWE and Vince McMahon are building up Braun Breaker to win the NXT Championship at New Year's Eve, hold it for a good while, eventually lose it, come up to the main roster, and immediately go into a feud with Roman Reigns and become the guy to beat Roman Reigns. That's where they're going for. I wouldn't say immediately. I think they might give him a few bit. But by the time we get to WrestleMania in Hollywood, if The Rock isn't available, it's going to be Braun Breaker. That's what I'm thinking. But I could be totally wrong. Yeah. This just... Great storytelling, it would be nice, but it's like, I wish they would have at least kept it until we, like, give us some intrigue. Give us something to look forward to when Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns. But they didn't even do that. So, SmackDown just... It's just meh. So, I don't know. We all knew Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns' partnership could not last forever. But I just think they blew their load a little too fast. But that's your SmackDown and Rampage review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds of the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Monday for Raw. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.